Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by pewsitter.com, your online Catholic newspaper for the third millennium. CatholicMediaCoalition.org, in line with the Church, online with the world. CatholicUnderground.com, the podcast about our Catholic faith and new media. And DFWCatholic.org, spreading the truth one city at a time.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Vic Faust. First up today, did he or didn't he? That's the question being raised over whether Obama's safe school czar, Kevin Jennings, was the main organizer behind a sex conference aimed at teenagers. The conference was held at Tufts University in Massachusetts in the year 2000 and featured workshops on explicit sexual practices too disgusting to describe in detail. What's most disturbing, however, is that the conference was about homosexual sex practices and was aimed at teenagers as young as 14. Jennings has long been a promoter of homosexuality in public schools, but has denied he was a driving force behind the conference. However, teachers secretly taped the conference and have evidence to the contrary. Stay tuned on this story. Wolves in sheep's clothing, the same fake Catholic groups that helped Obama get elected, have rallied to the cause of the health care bill, abortion funding, and all. Catholics United and Catholics in Alliance for the Common Good are warning Catholics not to get too hung up on things like federal funding of abortion. These groups are staffed and supported by Obama supporters and are posing as faithful Catholics in order to advance Obama's socialist agenda under the cover of Catholic-sounding groups. The main people who fund and run these groups are atheists, labor union leaders, and folks extremely well connected to the Democratic leadership. They are working overtime these days trying to secure passage of Obamacare, which looks to be having problems securing the necessary 60 votes it needs in the U.S. Senate. Nazi tactics return to Germany. A number of fathers across Germany are now being jailed for refusing to allow their children to sit through a state-mandated sex education course. The course is highly objectionable and essentially teaches young children how to engage in various sexual acts. Fathers who refuse to let their children attend are being jailed for a week. But that's not all. They also have a fine levied against them, which continues accruing. And for those who suggest homeschooling, think again. Homeschooling is illegal in Germany. It has been since Hitler came to power. The Nazis required all children to take their propaganda classes. All right, back in a few seconds.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web. And RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
And TheAmericanCatholic.com, politics and culture from a Catholic perspective.
Healthcare, the Democrats, the free for all over Obamacare has turned into a huge fight among Democrats. Among the issues being fought over are abortion, lowering the Medicare eligibility to age 55, and prescription drugs being imported. All of these issues face solid opposition from Republicans, so Democrats cannot lose even one vote from among their own ranks and still hope to pass the massive overhaul. Right now, each of those three issues has at least one Democrat who refuses to support the overall plan with those issues in it. So for now, Obamacare is caught between the proverbial rock and a hard place. But the White House says it isn't giving up since it is so close to achieving its goal of government-run health care. And finally, today is Acorn back in the box. U.S. District Judge Nina Gershon, a Bill Clinton appointee, issued a temporary injunction prohibiting Congress from cutting off funding for Acorn. Congress turned off the money spigot earlier this year when credible evidence surfaced showing Acorn officials skirting federal laws, illegally registering voters, and embezzling funds. Acorn is the most famous of all the so-called community organizing groups that liberals use to soak up federal monies to push a leftist agenda. Judge Gershon ruled that Acorn has become a victim and was not given due process before Congress cut the funds. Congress argues that groups given handouts don't have a claim to due process since the money isn't theirs to begin with. I'm Vic Faust. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to come back tomorrow for your daily dose of the Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And check out The Vortex today, where Michael Vorse talks about something special for Christmas. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in, and tell your friends about us. As always, God bless.
Support RealCatholicTV.com, spread the faith, and buy great Christmas presents for your family and friends all at the same time. Visit the RealCatholicTV.com shop for copies of our premium programs. Learn more about your faith with great videos such as The One True Faith or St. Michael's Basic Training. Be strengthened with talks by powerful speakers such as Michael Vorse, Father Edward Perrone, and Dr. Robert Fastigi. As well as DVDs, CDs, books, and more. You can also buy gift subscriptions to RealCatholicTV.com. Know someone who would enjoy RealCatholicTV.com? Well, buy a subscription for them. It's quick and it's easy.